Hey, I'm going to take you guys on a walk in my backyard. I haven't been back here for a while. This is my back fence line. We'll be right back and I'll show you what my backyard looks like. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is my backyard. I own part of a mountain. This right back there, that post, that is the back of my property line. I put that post in about 10 years ago when I purchased Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. And this little white post right here, yeah, this little one right here, that one is a marker that I put here on my mountain, and that marks the highest point on my homestead, and this marker marks 2,000 feet above sea level. And we're approximately 60 miles as the crow flies from the beach. Yeah, the Pacific Ocean, 60 miles that way. Cool, huh? So on my walk this afternoon, this is the 15th of December 2023, I just wanted to get out and about and check my fence line to see if it's still intact. And so far, coming up one side of the property to the back, I have 100 feet to go that way to the other side of the property line. And we'll check the fence going down. So let's go over there and see what we got going on. Take you back to the back corner of the property. When I purchased the property, I took the description from the deed to find my corner pins. And this tree right here, you see a sign on it that says bearing tree. Well, that tree's dead. That bearing tree ain't gonna be bearing nothing anytime too soon. It's only got probably a couple more years left. This big old tree right here, right through the branches there, you'll see another bearing sign. Yeah, that one's dead. For some reason, all these trees right here on the corner of the property died. And what's important to me is finding the corner mark, which made it quite easy. So there is the corner pin. And so I was able to trace out my property lines so I can place my fence almost precisely on my property line when I built the fence. This fence right here was already constructed when I moved in, and it was placed precisely on the property line. I wanted to make sure of that. This back fence, however, was not precise on the property line. The actual fence that laid in here was that one back there, and that is probably 20 feet beyond this fence. So I wanted to make a good, be a good neighbor and make sure I only got my property fenced in, and I'm not taking in the neighbor's property. They don't know it, but between this fence and that fence, it's still their property. Yeah. So anyway, we had a tree fall here and bent that post. So I had my son bring the chainsaw up and cut the tree off of the fence. So I have some repair to do up here this summer. Okay, heading back down the mountain, looks like a tree partially fell on the fence here. Not totally down, but it's, yeah, I'll have to bring the saw up here and cut that off and do a lot of fence repair on this side of the property. This particular fence line stretches from that corner mark down to just before my mailbox. It's over 1,000 feet. So far the fence, as far as I can see down the hill, looks in pretty good repair. Pretty good repair. Look at these sugar pine I've got growing out here. Yeah, those things are monsters. Look at that sugar pine. And it looks healthy. It looks like it's gonna last some years, which makes me happy because I love my large trees. Unfortunately, we had some sugar pine die and I had a couple laid down over there. So there they rest. One nice thing about coming out here this time of year is that the poison oak is dormant. It doesn't have the oily leaves where I can get poison oak. Of course, I've been exposed to poison oak so much through my life. I don't get it as bad in my old age. I must have developed some form of immunity to it. Yeah. Well, here's another part of my property. There's the base of that sugar pine, but right over in there is the plans of building a cabin or a tree house. Not really a tree house, just something on a stand. I already have the steel beams, the I-beams, and the posts on which to weld it to. Can't wait to get started on that. Now it saddens me because the fellow who owned the property before me came out, did some logging, wood cutting. They had a road that goes in and up there, which is no problem. I'm going to access that road, clean it up, and clean all that timber up. But what saddens me is that this ends up out here. I find all kinds of trash around here. These are artifacts that were left behind before me. So this predates me occupying the ranch. And I pick those up and carry them in as I find them. So this is evident right there that I've never been on this spot on my property yet. Never. You know, most of the artifacts I find out here are, well, they're beer cans and whiskey bottles or wine bottles. Yeah, I find a lot of those. And I've pretty much got everything cleaned up. At least I thought I had everything cleaned up, but I got another artifact. I seem to find something every time I walk down my fence line. And here we come to the end. This goes back into the goat pasture. I have this fence line in good repair. And on my walk today, it looks like the fence line is intact. No down trees across the fence that are squishing the fence down. And there's the back pasture, and there's where I came from, up in the mountain. Yes, my mountain. I love that. And this tree right here, it's hollow up there, and I featured this in previous episodes. There's a colony of honeybees that have taken up residence in the hollow of that tree. I was out working in the front when I noticed a swarm over my head. They're very noisy. And it was while I was working on the RV sites, getting a site set up for parking the RVs. But I followed the noise of the bees back, grabbed my camera and photographed them, and they've been here in that tree. Yeah, it's that tree right there. They've been there for 10 years now, and I check on them every year. Every year. They're feral bees. Of course, honeybees are not native to America. America has their own kind of bee. They're much smaller. But these bees were imported from Europe because we produce honey for us. And the bees get away. They split from the hive and they go find homes elsewhere. That's why they're called feral bees. But yeah, that is a really good sign that the bees have, those bees have survived over 10 years. And the environment and those in our neighborhood who don't care about the environment, mainly with certain crops that they use a lot of banned pesticides on, haven't affected these bees. It's just really a positive thing. Well, we're here close to the barn now. I want to show you my goats. Like I said, this is December 15th, and look at those ladies. They are pregnant. and the buck got, both buck got out. I'm not sure who got impregnated by who, but I had no control over who gets what. This gal gave me 5 babies earlier this year, and that one gave me 4 babies earlier this year. So they're due to freshen by Christmas is what I calculated when the boys got out. Yep, by Christmas. So do not open till Christmas. Ha 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 ha. And my hens have followed me out here. These are Buff Orpington. I have 6. And then my rooster is over there doing whatever he's doing. Maybe there's a hen over there laying eggs. There's only 4 hens out here with me. Nope, there's 5. So there's 1 hen off by herself doing something else. Maybe laying an egg. There she is, hanging out with the ducks. I have 5 Pekin ducks. I actually have 2 drakes and 3 ducks. And right now you could tell the drakes by that little curly feather on their tail. The 2 front ones are drakes. You can see that little curly tail feather. And they have a different sounding quack than the ducks do. These 3 are ducks. Of course, these are survivors from Thanksgiving. That's my Tom and my 2 hens. Yep. When he was younger, he'd be called a Jake. Or he'd be a Tom when he's younger, he's a Jake now. I'm not sure how that goes. But anyway, those were Jennies when they're younger, but now they're hens. Once they lay eggs, I guess they're classified as hens. These are Naragansette turkeys. They rare, they will fly away. That's how come I have them in a aviary. There's a close-up of my rooster. His name is Rodney. Rodney the rooster. And this is the aviary. Yeah, I gotta do some maintenance on it this year. Paint the door, probably build a new door, expand it, double the size out back, and put a corrugated clear metal roof on there. Like that one I have over their little house. And then I'm down to 8 rabbits. 4 of them are going to be taken care of tomorrow, so I'll end up with just 4 rabbits. It's too cold for the honeybees to be flying around right now, so they're hunkered down. Some of those hives are totally empty. I've got them, every other hive is an empty hive. And there's the billy goats. Yeah, the culprits. The bad boys. They're so friendly. They're cute. And then the pond was frozen over this morning, but the sun came out, melted the thin sheet of ice, and the ducks and the geese were able to take a bath. Isn't my farm pond pretty? I love it. It came with the property. So neat. And this is Nebby, one of our farm kitties. Hi, Nebsters. Mr. Furbottom. He's a good mouser. Well, that's it on the tour of the backyard, the mountaintop, the fence line, the farm animals. Yeah, pregnant goats. Fun. Downsizing the livestock, it sure saves on the feed bill though. And especially through the winter months. We'll do some breeding. I'll talk about the garden in another feature. There's everything growing in the greenhouse. Yes, in a new feature. Sun's going down on the farm. I'm getting cold. I'm going to go inside. Well, I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Filmed this all with my Samsung camera phone, which it doesn't have an access to phone part because we live in a dead zone. Yeah, we're in the wilderness. Be safe, always be kind, go have an adventure. Oh, it was good to get out of the house today. Bye-bye now.